Hi everybody, this is M.U.T.O, and today I'm going to do another subscriber requested video. And I also have this in mind as well. So I guess this was requested by XX Spacewing XX, or you can just refer him as Spacewing. And he requested me my top 5 favorites figures, or excuse me, my top 5 favorite monsters that I wish were made as SH Monster Art figures. So note that I'm not going to add Godzilla because this is just Godzilla monsters. Godzilla is not included in this list. Just Godzilla monsters. I repeat, just Godzilla monsters. Because I know people don't understand whenever, I do a list. And then I have to go to the comment section and reply, I do not add Godzilla. It's just the monsters. But anyway, now let's get into the list. So, let's see. For number 5, I'll pick Zillus, aka Gino, aka Godzilla 1998, aka Stone Godzilla, aka Tuna Head, aka Fish Head. Yeah, those are all the names for Zilla that people like calling him. So yeah, Zilla. Now, I know many people don't like Zilla as Godzilla, and I guess I can be invited to that club. I hate Zilla as Godzilla. Worst design ever for Godzilla. But as another monster that Godzilla fights, maybe another monster, part of the Toho series, kind of like Baragon, Anguirus, Balante, Space Godzilla. Just a monster that's not Godzilla. He's actually pretty interesting and pretty cool. I mean, I guess you can call him a ripoff of Godzilla since he has very similar characteristics to Godzilla. But he still has a lot of differences. But I really want to see a Zilla figure. And I probably also want to see a Zilla Jr. figure as well. Because with Zilla Jr. they can add accessories, such as the green atomic breath, I think that's what it is, and all that stuff. Probably they can even add like little helicopter figure things or something, or maybe that little robot. What's that little robot in the series of the cartoon series? I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Nigel or something around there. But maybe that can be an accessory. But I'm just specifically talking about Zilla. So Zilla, pretty interesting if we see him as an SH Monster Arts, and that's my number 5 pick. Number 4, I want Varan as an SH Monster Arts. Now, we barely see Varan in the Godzilla franchise, but he does have his own movie. I believe it's titled Varan the Invincible or Varan the Unbelievable. I believe it's Varan the Unbelievable because I remember the first Gamma film. There's 2 variations or 3 variations. Actually, there's 2. There's one just called Gamma, and the other one's called Gamma the Invincible. So I think it's called Varan the Unbelievable. But yeah, I really want to see how Varan will look like in the SH Monster Arts. I mean, there is a Bandai version. No, excuse me, not a Bandai. It's a YMSF version. But there's barely any articulation. The paint is The sculpt is also. But I really want to see an SH Monster Arts version. I really want to see an SH Monster Arts version. And probably, you can attach the wings or something. Something like that. And that'll just be overall very nice and epic seeing Varan as an SH Monster Arts. Just putting it on your shelf and knowing that you have an SH Monster Arts Varan. So that's my number 4th pick. Number 3 is Anguirus 1955. Now, whenever I pick 1955, I'm not saying that I hate Final Wars. I'm not saying that I hate the 1968 version. I just, want to see a 1955 Anguirus. I mean, I know Bandai released the 1955 Anguirus, but it's basically the, oh man, I think it's called Godzilla Island. It's basically just the Godzilla Island version, except completely gray, just pale gray, and not glossy, and that's about it. You have your 1955 Bandai Anguirus figure. We have already a 1968, or I guess it looks very similar to 1968, but I guess it's the Godzilla Island version. So I guess that can be considered the Showa version of Anguirus, not counting 1955. And then we have a Final Wars Anguirus that's made by Bandai and Bandai Creations. So I really want to see a 1955 Anguirus. And I heard Bandai Creation was going to make one, because there's some pictures of Bandai Creations, I think it was Mecha King Ghidorah and Anguirus 1955. But I think those figures weren't made or something. I don't know what the heck. But I really want to see an Anguirus 1955 SH Monster Arts figure. Plus, the 1955 Anchors have this, distinct look in its face. It looks very different. So yeah, that's my third pick. Number 2, Rodin 1956. Yes, I'm heading towards the Showa version, the old one from the movie Rodin, or Rodan, as people like pronouncing it as well. I just really like the design. I really like that design. Like, I really like it. It looks really pterodactylish in the Final Wars, like very pterodactylish. Is that even a word, pterodactylish? I don't think so, but I guess it looks too much like a pterodactyl, or like a pteranodon, quetzalcoatlus, whatever, in Final Wars. But in the 1956, it looks a little bit different. Plus, it looks like Rodin could actually be on land more. Because the Final Wars version, it looks like it can only fly, and like whenever it stands up, or it's too late, whenever it's standing, for example, whenever it landed on the building, it looked kind of weird, and it looked better whenever he was flying. So, but with the 1956 Rodin, it looks like he can also, walk around. He doesn't need to fly all the time. And that would be pretty cool seeing a Rodin 1956 figure, because there's really any figures for that. I think there was this, I think Bandai made one, I believe, but it's a very rare figure. Plus the paint isn't too good. There's some very, like, yellow slops all over the beak, and sometimes it goes to the head area. But yeah, that's that. Rodin 1956 is my second pick. And number 1 is Orga. I really want to see Orga, because Orga is a very, like, weird and strange creation. Like, it has this ginormous mouth. It looks very, like, I can't really describe it, like a deformed alien or something. It looks super weird. Very, very weird. It's not the traditional monster you'll think of right away. Definitely not the traditional monster you'll think right away for an alien. He just looks very deformed. I really want to see how they'll do with Orga. Because Orga has some ape-like features, weirdly, because he uses the claws, and they're in the ground, kind of like an ape. The old apes used to do that. Some of them do it today, and this generation or whatever. But I really want to see how they do Orga, and I'm not sure they're gonna do 2 variations of Orga. One with just regular Orga figure, and then the other one with the giant's mouth open or something or whatever. They could do that, but I think they can probably do 2 variations, probably. But yeah, I really want to see how they will do with articulation, because I know Bandai made a Orga figure. There's also a theater exclusive green Orga that's extremely rare. I think there's only 10 or 3. I don't know which one of those, but there's like 10 green Orga figures in the whole entire world. But anyway, there's about 3 versions of Orga. One of them is with blue highlights with gray. The other one's with blue highlights, gray, and a little bit of brown. And the other one is the theater exclusive green Orga, as I already mentioned. The one I have is the blue one, and on all 3 variations, there's barely any articulation. Just arms rotate in this very weird way. The tail rotates, the arms rotates, and the ends. You can barely even pose them in anything, literally. Like, actually, you can't even pose them for anything, literally. Probably maybe a kick, probably, even though the arms get in the way, so you can't even do that. So I really want to see how they'll do an Orga figure. And I want the Orga figure to have, like, torso articulation, because I don't want it to be so hunched over. Because I know the Orga figure, the Bandai one, isn't hunched over, but it's kind of hunched over where the legs are too short. They're like bent. I want it to be just straight, sturdy and straight. So that's my number 1 pick. Now let's go to honorable mentions. So I guess figures I really wanted to see, but weren't in the list, because there's some other ones that are better than these I'm going to mention. Number 1, or one of them, as honorable mentions, are the Rose Form Biolante. Now, I know it's basically just an SH Monster Arts figure of basically a giant flower, but it also has some vines, so I really want to see that. It's basically kind of like a Venus flytrap with a petal, and basically, yeah, that's about it. But yeah, Rose Form Biolante, I really want to see that. I'm not sure if I have the lights gimmick thing like the regular SH Monster Arts Biolante has. I don't really think so, because, like, it didn't really shoot any lights, or And, you know, I didn't really shoot any lights, the rules from Biollante. But I really want to see that. And I want to see how they will do the texture on the pedals. I want to see if they will do very soft plastic or they'll do a very stiff plastic. But you can even rotate the pedals. Probably where you can do it like the petals are barely growing out or something. Or blooming. Probably that'll be pretty cool. Now Baragon. Now the one I prefer is probably the GMK Baragon because there's already a Revoltech Baragon. Actually, I don't know which Baragon I prefer. Just I went overall Baragon as an SE Monster Arts figure. Because I know Revoltech made one of them and it's alright, except it's a little bit too small in my opinion. That's why I don't really grab Revoltech figures because they're too small. I mean Baragon is small, but I want one that's like the same size as Godzilla, or if not a little bit smaller. But I really want to see Baragon. And I also want to see how they'll do with the GMK Baragon. Because I'm not sure which version the Revoltech one is. It looks like a GMK Baragon, but I also heard it was from the Showa era. So I'm not really sure. But I want to see how they'll do with GMK Baragon. Or even the Showa Baragon. But especially the GMK Baragon. Probably they can even add this gimmick in the horn where you press this like button or something and it lights up. Because I believe it lights up. No, that's in the Showa era. But if they do in the Showa era Baragon, then they can do that. And next one is Megaguirus. I really want to see Megaguirus because the Bandai figure doesn't have too much articulation. And the stinger tail thing cannot really curl, which is very, very unfortunate. Which, if I want to use him for a fight, I can't really do that. I need to literally turn him backwards, then he can sting. That looks kind of stupid. Literally looks stupid doing that. But yeah, I really want to see a Megaguirus figure. Plus, the Bandai figure is more of a brownish, blackish like color, and Megaguirus has some purple highlights, and the Bandai figure doesn't add that, so that's pretty unfortunate. So I want to see Megaguirus. And finally, Gorosaurus. There's barely any Gorosaurus figures. There's only two variations from the YMSF line and the Bandai one. Bandai one looks, It looks kind of like the, I can't really explain it. Kind of like that Tony Roar Godzilla, where it looks very old, vintagey, and all that stuff. It looks very vintagey for me. And it looks really hard plastic, which I don't really like how the appearance of that Gorosaurus looks like. The YMSF, I'm probably going to pick it up, but you can't really pose them too much in very distinct ways. There's one variation where the mouth is open. There's another variation where the mouth is closed. I believe the one with the mouth open is rarer than the one that's closed. I think. Actually, I'm not even sure. But I really want to see a Gorosaurus with awesome, spectacular detail. Now, I'm not sure if they'll talk about, or if they'll do the Showa one from the King Kong Escapes one, or the 1968 version. Because there is some differences. For example, the color scheme is a little different. The 1968 version is kind of this green, brownish color, or whatever. Actually, no, that's for the King Kong Escapes. It has like brown on the chest area and green on the rest, while the 1968 is mostly just green. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions and just overall the list. So here's the list again. Number 5, Zilla. Number 4, Vera. Number 3, Anguirus 1955. Number 2, Rotor 1956. And number 1, Orga. So hope you enjoyed this list. Tell me in the comment below your top 5 monsters you want to see made at SE Monster Arts figures, not counting any Godzilla incarnations. So anyways, and for this video, subscribe, like, and comment. This is M.U.T.O, signing out.